Some theists just love filleting their fallacious arguments for the existence of God or the afterlife, I've noticed, after watching the Atheist Experience and The Line for many, many, many years. And on the 24th of December 2023, we've got Jose calling in, arguing and with a ton of fallacies that he's got evidence for the afterlife. So I can't play the whole call because it's too long, but I'm going to play about the last 7 minutes of it. Jose has already presented the idea or the argument that there must be an afterlife because otherwise all the tribes, all the civilizations in history that believed in an afterlife that didn't have any connection with any other tribe or civilization would not have come up with the idea for an afterlife and actually believed in it. So Matt Dillahunty has dealt with that particular fallacy. Let's go on and listen to what else he's got to say.
No, and now I'm muting you. Stop talking and listen. You will learn from this, I promise. I didn't say anything at all about you.
Yeah, Matt Dillahunty has promised that Jose is going to learn from this. Let's see if that's true.
Having to prove that somebody came back. Your brain, when I said...
Yeah, because Matt said, have you got objective evidence? And Jose has turned around. So you mean like somebody came back from the dead and proved it? And no, that's not what's being asked for. Any more than when we ask for a Christian for evidence of the resurrection, we're not asking for Jesus to be presented in front of us to testify that he was resurrected. We're not asking for that. We're asking for objectively verifiable evidence which supports the claim, in whatever shape and form that may come. If it's successful, then the claim will have been proven.
Hey, what objectively verifiable evidence is there? Your brain started working and saying, what kind of evidence could he be asking for? I'm not declaring any particular category or type of evidence. I'm asking you, because you're the one that seems to be convinced that an afterlife is possible or probable, and I'm not. I'm asking you, what objectively verifiable evidence do you have that any particular afterlife is true? That's all I'm asking.
Well, I believe that there is because of what I grew up in, my teachings, my beliefs.
Nope.
I believe that
I'm wrong. One. Never mind, Jose.
Well, there we are. What he said there was that he believes in the afterlife because that's what he was taught. That is his evidence. Matt asked him for objectively verifiable evidence. It's obviously not that because it's just a belief. But that's what he's turned to, that he was taught this when he was growing up. And consequently, he believes in it. That's his evidence. It's not sufficient evidence, nowhere near.
Never mind, Jose. I'm wrong because I thought that I could actually talk to you about evidence and you would learn.
Yeah, sorry, just coming back to that. Beliefs, of course, really are the claim. And he now needs evidence to support those claims.
Learn something, but instead your brain just shut down and said that you're convinced. I don't care that you're convinced. I care why you're convinced. And if you're convinced because you grew up being taught stories, that isn't evidence that the stories are true. That's evidence that people shared stories. Do you have any objectively verifiable evidence for any afterlife ever in the history of the world? The answer is no.
Okay. Here's what I would say about that.
That's a yes or no question. Right, well, you're either going to answer yes or you're going to answer no.
When Jesus was walking on.
Look, all right, you can tell me.
He was about to say when Jesus was walking on water. Okay.
All you want about Jesus. I guarantee you I know more about this shit, including the Bible, than you do. My question was, and we're not moving forward at all until you answer this question, and then you can continue. Do you have any objectively verifiable evidence that points to the conclusion that any afterlife claim is true? That's my question. Yes or no?
I do.
What is it?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
Hey, can I talk now?
Listen, smart ass. No, you can't. I'm muting.
It's always the beginning of the end of a call when the attitude creeps in and somebody says, "Can I talk now? Are you still muting me?" It's the beginning of the end.
You listen to me very carefully.
The answer to the question.
You just said that you have objectively verifiable evidence of an afterlife. I would like you to present that evidence and not do the "Can I talk now?" Because of the two of us, I'm the one that's demonstrated an ability to answer a question honestly, to listen to the question that's being presented, and to present a question and an answer that is relevant. So I'm going to unmute you again. I would like you to present the objectively verified of an afterlife. Go.
Okay. Whenever
He should have read around a few near-death experience websites, and at least we could have had some entertainment out of that, but no.
whenever Jesus was walking on this earth, all the people that were around him were Jewish.
Okay, I'm going to mute you because I asked for objectively verifiable evidence, and you're now talking about Jesus. There is nothing about Jesus that is objectively verifiable. You can't prove that he existed, that he walked on the earth, or anything.
Are you serious? So you're just going to mute me every time I try to talk?
Every time you don't
No,
follow
sir.
instructions?
No,
for sure,
sir.
man.
I'm going to mute you every time you're dishonest as fuck, like I did just now. Here's the thing. I'm looking for objectively verifiable evidence. Do you know what objectively verifiable evidence means?
This guy, you're just going to keep muting me.
This
Now, do you hear what he said then? He said, this guy, he's just going to keep muting me. It sounds to me like he's got somebody else either in the room or maybe somebody on a feed somewhere that he's communicating with. I wonder who that could be.
guy is just going to keep avoiding the question. This guy is just going to keep being dishonest in conversation. This guy, he's not going to answer the question. This guy, Jose, is terrified of actually being challenged. You want to play that game? I'll play that game. I don't got to mute you at all. Do you know what objectively verifiable evidence is? Do you know what objectively verifiable evidence?
Quit muting me.
Answer
How about
the
I mute
fucking
you
question.
right now? See, I don't have to mute you, but I can mute you. I can keep you on mute for the rest of your fucking life if I want to. Do you know what objectively verifiable evidence is? That's what I asked. Why can't you answer that?
Am I unmuted now?
Yeah. Okay, I'll just explain what I believe has happened here. And of course, I can't support it with any objectively verified evidence, and I admit it's just my opinion based on what I'm interpreting from what's going on. But basically, Jose now has put down his best cards, and they've been shot down. He's admitted that he only believes it because he was taught it, and really he hasn't got anything better than that. As for objectively verifiable evidence, he probably understands what that is, and he knows that he hasn't got any, and he's now wondering how he can get off the line without either getting the jackass treatment or having to put the phone down and scratching his chin and tossing and turning all night, and having his online Christian friends not saying good things about him to pump up his ego about how he made Matt Dillahunty hang up on him. So that's what I think is happening. So he's just saying, oh, am I muted? Am I muted? Every time Matt says something, he's just blocking him. So let's see how it concludes.
Are you going to answer the question now?
Yeah. I'm trying to, but you keep muting me and you keep talking.
You're so full of shit, you fucking liar. Here's the question. Do you know what objectively verifiable evidence is? Yes or no?
Oh, this guy right here. That means
This
that
guy right here, avoiding the simple fucking questions.
It's a
you
yes or
fucking
no question.
coward. Answer the question.
The funny thing is, if he's a shill for anybody else, then I'm surprised that he's not actually presenting something a bit better than this.
I've said yes. I've said yes like three different times and he keeps muting
No,
me.
you haven't. No, you haven't, you fucking liar. Now you're muted. So I'm going to unmute you. Stop pretending that you're being oppressed and just answer the fucking question so that we can get on to your absolutely bullshit explanation. Do you know what objectively verifiable evidence is, yes or no?
Yes.
Please present your objectively verifiable evidence for an afterlife.
Okay. Oh. This question, one of those things where you're trying to make it to where I have to literally prove like I got to.
Okay. You're muted again. I didn't ask you to comment on the question. I asked you to present your objectively verifiable evidence. I'm going.
Okay, obviously the bar is high. The bar's got to be high with a question such as prove to a reasonable level of standard or sufficient standard that there is an afterlife. The bar has got to be set high. So Matt is going for objectively verifiable evidence. And he's turning around saying, oh, so I literally have got to prove to you, like scientifically, that this is a fact, that it's real. And personally, if I was doing this call, I would say, okay, well, you've presented fallacies so far. Do you have any other kind of evidence to support your claim? I would drop the objectively, because people can always turn around and say, what? I literally have to prove 100% to you, when we can't literally 100% prove anything. Because people will always turn to that. I would just say, do you have anything else? Do you have any other evidence? Otherwise, we're going to have to move on, because you haven't proven, you haven't supported your claim to any reasonable degree at all so far. Do you have anything else? If not, we're going to move on.
I'm going to unmute you again, and you are either going to present your objectively verifiable evidence, or you are going to be acknowledged as a coward who can't.
Yeah, we had the same problem a couple of weeks ago. I reviewed a call where I think it was Davis called in, and Shannon kept saying, what is your proof for the existence of God? Well, what is your proof that Christianity is true? And they got hung up on this word proof, because it sounds like 100% verifiable proof is being required. And that is not the case.
Cannot fulfill his obligation under 1 Peter 3:15 to defend the Jesus that you believe in and the afterlife you believe in. Which one is it? Are you going to present the evidence, or are you going to whine like a little bitch?
Dude, who peed in your cereal this morning? My gosh.
You did. You're peeing in my cereal right now.
I'm trying to tell you.
You're muted again. I don't know why you can't have a fucking conversation where I ask a question and you answer it, and then we evaluate your answer. But you are incapable of having a discussion. This is your last chance. I'm going to unmute you. I would like for you to present the objectively verifiable evidence that you have for an afterlife. If you say or do anything other than that objectively verifiable evidence for an afterlife, I will hang up on you. Guaranteed. Here we go. What is your objectively verifiable evidence for an afterlife?
Oh, Andrew.
Goodbye.
Who the fuck is Andrew?
Andrew is Big Papa Fascist, who I walked out on for being a coward, just like that little bitch right there.
Okay, there it is. Well, if Jose has got anything at all to do with Andrew, I'm very surprised that Andrew didn't prepare him better for this call. I would have thought he could have told him that that's what I was taught, and people have always believed this, therefore it must be true. Just do not stack up as evidence for the claim that there is actually an afterlife. And I'm really surprised that people still go back to this. Well, there were isolated tribes that weren't in contact with other civilizations. Even they had this belief in an afterlife. So it must be true. It's really weird, because it doesn't seem to me too remarkable that early civilizations, early tribes had maybe people who were looking up at the stars and thinking, where do we all come from? Where are we all going to? What happens when you die? These seem to me like not that remarkable questions. If you're living, you don't want to die. And it's not really that remarkable that people had the belief in an afterlife at all. But even if it is remarkable, it's still not evidence to support those claims in an afterlife. Yeah, and obviously a lot of people believe because they were taught, this is what they learned when they grew up. At least he admitted that. I've got to give him some credit for being honest. But I would like to know from any of you guys who probably get around a lot more channels than I do. Do you know of this Jose? What is his connection with Andrew? Do you think that Jose had somebody else in the room, or was maybe talking maybe he had another channel going that was recording this all live? Who knows? It sounded like that could be the case. But from a certain point in the conversation, when he was just saying, you're muting me, I think he was just looking for a way out without being too much humiliated. Okay, that's all for now. I'd like to wish all you guys Happy New Year. I hope you have a fantastic 2024. Thank you very much for supporting my channel and coming back and subscribing, or not subscribing. Viewing my videos is more important to me than subscribing to my channel. Leaving comments, of course. Thanks for your participation. Bye for now.